So Thor is one of the best tanks in Marvel Rivals, but since most players don't know how to use him, he's very underrated. So real quick, I'm going to show you guys how to use him so you can solo carry in competitive. The most important ability in Thor's kit is his Ruined Awakening mode. He goes in this lightning slinging state. He does insane damage. He also gets a 200-point health buff. You need to be in that state as often as possible to maximize what he can do. To do that, you have to manage his Thor force, which is the tiny little hammers in the middle of the screen there. Every time you go into Ruined Awakening mode, it depletes all 3 of those hammers. So as soon as you come out of Ruined Awakening, your goal needs to be to recharge those as fast as possible. And there's 2 ways to do it. The first way to recharge those hammers is by using his bubble. For every enemy inside the bubble, he recharges 1 hammer. Since there was 2 enemies in my bubble, I recharged 2 hammers, and now I'm back in Ruined Awakening mode. That's the fastest way to do it. But when that's on cooldown, the only other way is to just hit enemies with your hammer to recharge them. Now, important thing to know about Thor is that every one of his abilities uses those hammers. If you do a hammer toss, it depletes a hammer, and if you do a hammer dash, it depletes a Thor force. So make sure to use those abilities very sparingly. You'll see here that the hammer toss does decent pick damage, but it does not outweigh what he does in Ruined Awakening, so use this incredibly sparingly. I hardly ever use it, mostly just to destroy enemy equipment. But his hammer dash is very useful because it can close the distance, get you in fights, so you can pop your bubble. That's the only time you'll see me using it, is just to close distance to get back in the fights as fast as I can. So now that you have a basic understanding of Thor, let's show you guys the combo that I use to absolutely fry people when I'm playing. The first thing I'll do in engagement is go into Ruined Awakening and start doing as much damage as possible and giving me that health buff. Once I'm out of Thor force, I'll go up, I'll bubble, recharging a hammer, and then I'll start hitting. Once I'm fully recharged, I go back into Ruined Awakening mode. Now, the cool thing about this is that you can probably get 2 to 3 Ruined Awakening in one single engagement, allowing you to do insane damage and keep yourself healed up pretty well. And the final thing is his ultimate. People don't like it. They think it's mid. I actually think if used correctly, it's great. Most people will just walk up and then go into their ult. It's very telegraphed. People can get out of it pretty quick. The best way that I have found to utilize that ultimate is to use his hammer dash, go as high in the sky as you can above the enemies, and then pop it. Because you have a lot of distance between you and the enemy, makes it hard to snipe you out, and you have just good field of view. And that is how you use Thor in Marvel Rivals.